off to me.
Always
good to start with as many seconds of dead air as possible.
That's how you start every one of your quick casts.
It's because I can't time it out right.
Into the camera.
It's this dead air time. It's this strange.
And I'm always wondering, is my audio not on? Is it like
no?
There he goes.
I've done it a couple times where I always say the date and time. It's Monday, August 28th at 9:04 p.m.
That's my favorite part. I set my watch by it.
The weird thing is you don't ever watch it live, so your watch is always wrong.
I don't, because you never tell me you're going to do it. I
don't tell anybody I'm going to do it. But Sophia Helvey knows that this is here. That's she's a good friend of our family. Glad she's here. Maybe her sister's here.
Dick Stillwagon is here.
Yeah, that's great. Right in a row. Awesome. Dick Stillwagon is here. There you go. Sam Lovejoy says the YouTube notifications work for him. Don't work for you, Jay. When I
probably don't have notifications on. I only
you have to. You know how you do that? You click the little bell. What you're supposed to do.
Smash that like button.
Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe.
And it turns everything on.
I only subscribe to. I don't do alerts for podcasts I enjoy. So
that makes sense. I understand. Who's hosting? Aren't you supposed to do some intro now?
Welcome to the Handsome Hour. I'm out of practice.
I was real busy Xing.
Yeah. You may have found us on X or Z. I don't know what we're supposed to call it.
Big Zeke guy over here.
I'm joined by Boiler Dowd and Anish Swami. Michael has fully retired from podcasting, as far as I know.
Temporary retirement. We're going to break in case of emergency when Purdue starts 6-0. That's when we strategically
we don't want you back then. No, we don't want you back, you non-believer.
There's somebody in the margin already made me laugh. I hope this is what they intend to do, but Ultimate Boiler asks, Dowd, are you going to be this calm on game day two? Where's the passion? Where's the energy? I believe that's a reference to the press conference today. There were some really awful questions thrown at Coach Walters today.
Was one of them, are you looking to learn anything?
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the bad ones.
What are you talking about?
He just says, no.
I'm the coach of the team. I've been the coach of the team.
I watched the film of every down. I watch all of it in tape or in person.
It's like it's his job or something.
It feels like he takes it like a job.
How important is it to get off to a good start? Oh my gosh. Like, these are professional media people, and this is I wrote a thing, as you both know.
Yes.
I wrote a thing after basketball ended, just criticizing that in general because I was angry to begin with. But then that's bothered me, and you both know this. It's bothered me for years that I get the whole like access, and you have to be nice, you have to play nice, but I think you can still ask, I don't know, well-reasoned, educated questions.
I mean, like, and Walters,
you probably should.
You could sit there for an hour and think up some stuff that aren't the same 5 things every coach gets asked. Couldn't you?
Saban has his grumpy, he's not going to tell you anything. He hasn't told anybody anything for 25 years. This is Ryan Walters' first job. Like, try to, like, even if, exactly, just try something.
He might slip up and tell you something. It'd be great.
Right. But he's good. I mean, he's fun to listen to. He has nice quotes. He's got good energy, except for when he gets questions and he's like, I don't know what you guys are doing. What's going on?
You can't hide. Yeah.
It's game week. It's game week.
Is it really?
It is not a drill.
And this, I don't think I said this last week, but I heard someone on the radios say that there will not be a week without college or pro football until after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But the pro stuff is amateur stuff.
There will be a chunk of time after an awesome 3 months where then all of a sudden it'll be like the air coming out of a balloon, then 7 weeks later they'll play in the national championship. It'll be really cool.
It's great. It's a great system. We should replicate it.
It's really
grow it.
It's really good. If only there were a thing they could emulate, like at the 1AA level. If only they did it. Like
only there's some model that already works pretty well.
That works. I mean. I don't
but know. Things rhyme. Madness rhymes with March. Can you think of anything for November? December? What are we doing here?
What can you do?
December to remember? I think Lexus has that already.
Exactly. That's too many Christmas sales. You can't. That's not. Yeah, exactly.
Kyle Seago in the comment. I have to jump over to a comment. He says Tom Allen neglecting to disclose IU's starting kicker is amazing. I didn't see that, but
yes,
he really
he really did that, and it was
chart,
right around.
Wait,
right around noon. It lit up
hiding?
Twitter. It was funny.
Wait, he's being
He's got
sneaky,
two guys.
he's being
not telling you.
Chart?
Right, he's not telling you who's the kicker. He's
you don't want to. I mean, because you might game
State
plan
on
for
edge.
him. You might game plan for him. Yeah, the good news, IU can get their media guide photo done early this year because this Saturday Ohio State comes to Memorial Stadium. It's called Memorial Stadium, right? It's not called like Tom Allen Stadium or
no, not yet.
Oh, so much to talk about. Will Tom Allen be the first Big Ten coach fired this year?
It's a lot of money, man.
He's got a big buyout still, and
I don't know if anybody does this year. Here's a fun answer.
Whoa! No way.
Mel
Tucker's not getting fired, dude.
No, because it's a lot of money.
Expensive.
It's a lot of money.
And to be fair to Mel, who, if you're listening, Mel, I've always been on
respect.
Your side. I just want to be clear.
Respect.
I've defended you.
Everyone needs to understand, especially
that was a
family.
joke. That was a joke.
There's not many guys
Just
who
a
can
joke.
wear shorts. Not many guys, and this is a broad, not just coaches, men in general. Shorts are a tough look on a lot of guys.
I look great in shorts.
Coaches, it's even harder to be taken seriously. Mel Tucker, he could coach the whole season in shorts. I think he'd be fine. I would encourage it, in fact. But he's not. He to be fair, he's not had that much time. Like it's not like they've suffered through like 4 or 5 years of like garbage. Like I would say he deserves another year anyway, even if he wasn't getting paid $90 billion.
By the way, John Faker has a great point. I mean, you're already wrong.
That's right. Either the last coach fired or the first coach fired. Either one, Pat has it.
Right. It could have been. I don't know when you start the season. It could have been last year's. Yeah, he could have been a firing from last year. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a crazy year already, and it only gets better from here. It's funny. I was listening to XM today. They were talking about the possibility of Ohio State and Alabama not making the playoff, and I think
here's the thing. It's going to be a really fun year, and the one thing that this next strange era, this is the last year of this era of college football. The one thing about the next one is that a 12-team playoff, like we alluded to, yes, please give it to us. What are we doing here?
Okay. Here's the only thing I'll say in defense of the people who want to keep it as exclusive as it's been. There have been virtually zero good semifinal games since they went to the 4 teams. There's always like 2 blowouts and then maybe 1 good game. So when you go to 12, I think the odds of having good games actually is going to go down. Maybe I'm wrong, but
the odds of an upset go up, right? Hey, we know this. We lived through this. The odds of an upset always go up with the tournament. All you need is 1. Theoretically, these 12 seed could beat the 1 seed. Who knows?
I don't think that's how it's going to work, though. I think
I know. I was actually just thinking about
it'll take like 50 or 60 years of the tournament before that happens.
And guess who's going to be the one?
Like 3 years of each.
Guess who's going to be the 1 seed, baby?
Purdue and Virginia will be the top 2 seeds, and we laugh so we don't cry.
Exactly.
Funny because it's true.
But like this year, it could be so fun. I could see like a 12-team playoff where 10 of the teams have real national title. Like last year was a march to Georgia's inevitable national title, and even that kind of almost got tripped up by the one dominant game that Ohio State played. Right. I mean, like that got close there. Mm-hmm. This year there isn't a dominant standout head and shoulders over everything. Georgia's great. Georgia's great, but it's hard to I don't know when the last three-peat was. I'm sure we're going to hear this stat
Who's
forever.
their rent-a-quarterback this year?
It's a new one. He's actually talented. Actually, he's like a 4 or 5 star quarterback. Who knew? He's got 2 first names. Carson Beck. Is that his name?
I don't think that's a first name.
So you say he's like a
Beck.
That's the last name.
Beck's like the band. It could be 2 last names then.
Did he come up through? Did Georgia recruit him out of high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
that's very untrendy.
He's like a real quarterback.
Don't you think Saban is due to not surprise, but don't you think Alabama's going to be back to being Alabama? They haven't been for a couple of years.
Saban upset is possible, but they might not
surprise people.
They might not even make the playoff.
They haven't, have they? The last couple of years,
the top, not couple, but last year, yeah.
Did they make it last year?
But like the last, the top 3 in the Big Ten, top 3 in the SEC.
We're just on to this week.
But top three in the Big Ten,
Taking
top
it
three in
one
the
week at a
SEC
time.
are all title contenders. LSU,
Oh,
Bama,
boy.
Georgia.
Freaking LSU.
And then everybody in the East, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State, all of them are national title contenders. That's before we get to USC, Florida State, all of these guys. Like, it would be so great. Oh, different lighting there. Mood
Dick
lighting.
Stillwagon is questioning my lighting in my room. Look, it's nighttime. There's only so much I can do. I have literally every light in this room. Here's the thing, Dick. Everything in this room is on. Every light I have in this room is on. I'm not exaggerating. It's not.
Is every room in your house like candlelit? Is that
Yeah.
just for
I'm trying to
mood?
save on
It's
energy.
the log cabin.
Oh.
It's the log cabin.
It's a log cabin. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm in one of my many estates.
One of your many estates, and this is the this
Can
is the
afford
one out in the
electricity in
woods.
all of them. What do you need
Exactly.
more lighting on me for, Dick? Are you trying to? I mean, I get that I'm a specimen, and you want
You
to.
don't have to put the enunciation on the dick that much.
Yeah, that seemed like it was. That was,
that was a
heavy-handed.
little
I
extra.
agree.
Hey, you hear the things the way you want to hear them. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right. He just wants to get a good look at yours, mine, and Boiler Down's shirts. We're gonna go early into our ad read. Yeah, it's a great shirt you're wearing, J
Oh,
Money.
yeah.
It's almost like I also wore the shirt and have it sitting
feels
right here
like that.
as well.
Yeah, it's right there.
We were talking last week that ringer tees don't always work. This one, I think it's okay. I think
I
it
love
works.
it.
I think
It
it's a
is-
beautiful shirt.
It's so soft.
Frequent visits to the Rose Bowl. This celebrates a mere 56 years ago.
Yep, like it just happened.
1967.
How?
Like it just happened.
Where did we all get these shirts? Pray tell.
Oh, you can get them at Home Field Apparel.
Home Field Apparel, and we all did that. We went
Great
to Home Field
partner.
Apparel. We picked out our favorite thing. We entered Boiled 23 at checkout. Got 15% off. Pretty good deal.
I think it's 15% off the first order. We'll check the fine print here and there, but either way,
it might not be every time,
just check it. We'll
but enter it
see.
anyway.
Yeah, enter it anyway. Yell
But
it
if you
out
find
of
a
your
new
window.
email address, it'd probably be 15 the second time.
Oh, it's the internet hack, and they'll love it
Different
too
address.
because that counts as a new customer for them.
Send it to their parents.
Its growth metrics are off the chart for
right.
our lovely
That's
friends
right.
at Home Field.
Yeah. You heard they turned 5 this week, didn't you
I
guys?
did. I saw that.
Yeah.
You know that you got this is the 18th season covering Purdue football on
it?
BloodSports.com.
2006 it started. I know that.
Yep.
Yeah. LBD was a baby,
Literally.
and he is a senior in high school.
Yeah, is
I was not married yet, and I've been married 16 years. So
were
I
you
tell everybody
dating?
my longest
at that
relationship?
point? Was Mrs. Money in the picture?
you had
Oh,
to
yeah.
bring you had to bring a little bit of, you had to bring a third person in to get a little bit of excitement back into the relationship, I guess.
I don't know what you're implying.
Either. But it's
I'm not sure, but I think I was just disparaged. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
who else do we want to
That's
thank?
that's a long time ago. I mean, there are multiple humans in your life that weren't around.
That's right.
That's pretty
right.
big.
And these
thing.
was born in
Boat
the
Sports
intervening
College. Boat Sports College decision is coming next year. This is
Yeah, that'll be a
senior
big
year.
deal. I'm
gonna put the hats on the table.
3 hats on the table. Who knows what it is?
Yeah. So hold on one second. Hold on.
All right, everyone, please hold.
Yeah, please.
We'd like to also thank our friends at AJ's.
Yeah.
AJ's on Vine. Go to AJ's.
There you go.
There's Mike Dowd.
Not everybody.
Right there. He says hi
Here's-
to everybody.
Look
So,
at
we were
him.
just talking
It-
about how old Boiled Sports is and
Yeah.
how your college decision is coming. There'll be a big
Yeah.
presser. You'll pump fake one hat. And Is that
That's
what
it?
you're gonna do?
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
can't
do
wait.
that.
That's gonna be fun.
And then he's gonna pick up-
mascot.
Oh, the mascot will be
Yeah,
there.
just like
Oh,
that.
that'd be good. That'd be good.
He has to have a BS hat. That's
Oh
right.
yes.
He's
The
chosen
like-
to go to BSU, Boiled
That's it.
Sports University.
That's
That's
my
it.
This-
number one.
this-
Everybody will think it's Boise State. when
Yeah.
they make the
This
decision.
site's putting him through college. Let's be honest.
That's right. All the revenue from Boiled Sports is gonna put you right
Yeah.
in the catbird seat.
Someone says the IQ of the broadcast just tripled with him walking in.
That's
Right?
correct.
There's
I
no
think
doubt
that's-
about that. If you
Yeah. Well,
Anish is on there.
I know. I knew I could count on him. I knew I
There's some
could count on him.
respect. There's some
Oh,
respect.
boy, that hurts. That hurts.
Oh
Bad
man!
Uncle
All right.
Jay.
So the other thing we wanted to say is thank you to AJ's on Vine. Go buy AJ's. Oh, I can already taste the fried cheeses and
We may be
deliciousness.
there
and
for
funnel
some
cake
games
Weeks away,
fries.
we'll have a mini BS summit. Just weeks
Oh
away.
man, cannot
We're not
wait.
gonna tell you when it's gonna be though, are we?
Who
No,
knows?
no. You
We'll
basically you have to take my shirts backwards. Is it? Oh, does it look?
Yeah.
No.
Hey, just look in the mirror. It's fine.
Yeah, you've got your camera feed on the
Oh, do I?
Yeah, but it's fine. Go to AJ's. That's all we have to say about that.
Just go every time, and
We'll be
eventually
there.
we'll be there if you're interested in meeting up sometime. That's what I would say.
Yeah, Dylan. By the way, Dylan Kuhn. And I'm saying his name right. I think it's Kuhn, right?
I think so.
Sure.
He's like a magnate. He's a gas and power magnate in the greater Tippecanoe County area.
And a lot of
He
gas.
says making fun of Dowd's internet came back to bite me. My internet has been down all day. That's what happens, and it was not just a coincidence. It's my people are everywhere.
That's it.
Uh,
So this
it's a happy day though when we get on here and one of us doesn't sound garbled, and all of us can get on. Dude, that's
started on time. It's real great
I was
efficiency.
9:04. I checked. It was 9:04.
Yeah, that
good.
counts.
That's
counts.
pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
I think you
really
give or
good.
take 5 minutes.
That's
is pretty
really good.
That counts as on time. This is the best part of the season, by the way, where all hopes are alive.
Everyone's
Every hope
undefeated.
is alive.
Well, no, not Navy, but
Well.
but most. If you didn't play week 0, you're undefeated, and that's definitely exciting.
Yeah, I mean, the hopes of a Notre Dame flop season might be also not alive, but it is what it is.
I don't know. And Navy, remember Navy lost Kinnan. That's a big deal. So they're under a new regime, and they could just be. It's kind of like I've seen this a couple times where you got to take it with a pinch of salt here. That there may be something awry with that first opponent. You can't just say.
I'm just saying 12 wins and get him out of there fast.
Well,
that's what I want. 12 wins and have the Bears hire him, have somebody hire Bears. Won't, but somebody hire him, get him out of there.
It's a real nightmare scenario at South
Quite.
Bend to
Yes.
like both coaches. It's
Well,
quite.
somebody in the comments earlier said that the fun of Notre Dame being good is they get smoked in the playoff, which is fair. That's good. If they want to win and he gets a job somewhere and then they lose by 30 in this national semifinal, I can live with that.
And then he'll probably get hired away before the semifinal happens,
Right.
so we can say that he's not even there to the whole magic was him. And then they hire some unlikable schmuck. Unfortunately,
Or something.
LSU might win a title this year, and that would suck. But
As I said,
but
you
it
guys,
would be
when you
funny.
went there,
You're right.
It would still be funny because if Brian
be
Kelly
hilarious.
wins a national title at LSU in year 2, man, that would be pretty funny. But Anish and Potential, name a more iconic duo. Handel says.
I love it. I love it. There's nothing. Ryan Walters, we all love him. There's nothing wrong. He's perfect. He's a perfect quote. Hudson Card only people just
Graham Harrell.
fawning over him. Graham Harrell is the genius still. Everything's coming up, man.
And actually, Steve, by the way, also I want to just give him credit because he took the he gave a little shot at Anish loving Potential too for you Bullet Sports bingo players out there.
It's it, man.
That's like the center square. You just get that.
It's
Right. Yeah, that's all. It just says a niche.
Anish Potential.
It would be so
you get
good,
that one.
man.
Just put it
Everything
down.
is so great. Devin
You're right, though.
Maccabee, we're expecting a 1,500-yard season from him.
Oh yeah.
All
It's
three
all
running backs
good.
will have at least 1,000 yards.
It's
That's
all
what
good.
people are saying.
Everything
That's
is great.
it's on the street.
The offensive line is full of experience and transfers. It's going to be great.
Nothing can go wrong with
Sure, they
transfers.
don't have enough guys to actually cobble together a two deep, but that's okay.
I was yelled at for being a skeptic about the grass that was planted not even a fortnight ago. Excuse me for being a little bit
I will
nervous.
yell from the
Oh,
mountaintops in defense of my turf management brethren.
Big Turf is you're just in Big Turf's pocket is what it is.
That's great. Yeah, Big Turf. They're paying me off, dude. That's how I get the fancy stuff.
Dick Stillwagon would like us to stick to an agenda. It sounds like so.
I'm
we're
calling
going to
you
start
Big
with an
Turf.
icebreaker.
I'm calling you Big Turf from
Each
now
of
on.
you can do 2 truths and a lie.
You already lost
Tell
my
us where
nickname
you're
from last week.
Yep.
What was my nickname?
I don't know, but it's this week
It
is
was
Big Turf.
inappropriate, and it's already gone. I
Yep.
can't remember what
I don't
was.
remember either.
Is it Little Nuts? What was it?
Something like that.
Probably that
Or
works.
something like that. I bet
So,
somebody in
They're playing. You pointed this out on the Quickcast, and if you didn't listen to the Quickcast, I don't know what's wrong with you. You should be listening to the Quickcast. But you pointed out, I forgot this. I thought Tedford wasn't coaching anymore. I didn't realize he was still at Fresno.
He's real good, man.
He's really.
He's
good
always
coach.
been good. He's always been good.
What the hell's wrong with the people at Berkeley, man? Seriously.
That
Why did they
program's
let
gonna
him
fall.
go? Why did they let him go?
Did they let him go? Or did he?
Yes, they fired fired
They
him.
did? Okay.
Yes.
I thought he went somewhere. Didn't he go somewhere after Cal and before Fresno? I know I could look this up, but who has time for that?
The internet say
I don't think so. I
the
think
Tampa
he,
Bay
had a
Buccaneers
lull,
as
right?
OC and the British Columbia Lions as head coach.
He's a
So,
good
yeah.
coach. He's just getting
He's a
older.
good
That's
coach.
all. But they won. You pointed this out. They won 10 games last year. So here's why I'm nervous. Let's just get into it.
There's
Here's
plenty
why
of
I'm a
reason to be
little
nervous.
concerned.
Plenty
Plenty
of
of reason to be nervous. I'm glad it's at home. This isn't a Morgan Burke special where they're going out to Fresno for some reason. This
That
is
comes
great.
soon.
Like Nevada. But they're playing a team that won 10. But from what I've been reading, Fresno is not expected to be that good this year. This is kind of a rebuild for them, right? They have a new quarterback. They're not the same team they were. And here's the other thing that should make you nervous. Purdue's weirdly favored by Vegas has them favored
By 4? Yeah.
Yeah. Like what? How does that even make any sense?
They're all
I don't
guessing.
think-
Everybody's guessing right now, right? I mean, nobody could know anything.
But the over-under is like 50. So I think you're taking the over, right? Because I think both teams are going to score. I have a hard time imagining that the defense is going to be fully dialed in. But I guess
I don't know. I think that the safe bet would be take the favorite, take the under. It's week 1 of 2.
You don't take the under.
I kind of
Purdue
agree with
game.
Anish. You take the under. It's just safer because
Until
offense
they
is
show
already
it.
always a little late to the party.
Okay.
But I don't know. I do think that this is it's I don't even know where Fresno is. Where Fresno's
Yeah, where is the state of Fresno anyway?
Show me the Fresno star on the flag, and then we'll talk. Okay.
Exactly. I love that joke. By the way, that joke never gets old for me.
Where is the
Calling
Golden
something
State?
a
I don't know.
that has state behind it never gets old for me. I love it. So, we got a Fresno State here.
Oh, look at that.
Haj.
Okay, Fresno State fan. We're nervous. We're nervous. We're real nervous.
That means he's scouting.
Exactly. I mean, so it's a good. Tedford is.
No,
good.
everybody knows where Fresno is. Now, the joke is there's no state of Fresno. That's the joke.
Everybody knows where Fresno is now.
Yeah. Valley, man. Repping the Valley.
So hold on, let me get this straight. Fresno, Frisco, 2 different places.
They are 2 different places.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I didn't know. I'm not from there. I didn't know.
I'm not
We're scared. Tedford scares me because it's just a level of competence. He's one of those. He's like Solich at this point, where it's just like the
That's a good
level
comparison.
of base competence and modern, right? Frank Solich would.
Solich was rock
My
solid.
friends died. Every time I think of Frank Solich, I think of him getting the fries poured on him at the bowl game.
The fries being dumped, and
And
he looks like
Michael's magnum
upset.
opus. Michael's
Is
magnum
there a
opus
Fresno melt?
was my friends died in the war as all of the fries just go on.
The grease, the congealed crap coming from those fries.
Tedford is modern like Solich mold, right? It's just a baseline level of competence. They're not going to beat themselves. You know, they're not. Yards aren't going to be high. The defense is going to be fine. Like it really is a home test for Purdue as to whether everything is together. And Purdue is a team in
it's a great
transition.
first game. That's the thing. It's a great first game. Thank God it's at home, like Jay said.
Yeah.
If this were in California, I would say I wouldn't say Sharpie, but I wouldn't feel good about it. This is something that there are just so many variables. You kind of hope there's going to be a lot of really good energy in there. The thing that's really interesting, right? You've got the Tiller Tunnel coming and a bunch of guys that don't even know who Tiller is running out of it.
That's a great point.
Or and maybe not know who he is, but they didn't experience him, right? I mean, it's been a while again, like since students at Purdue
Man, it's been a long
experienced
time
Joe
since
Tiller.
Tiller was there, right? And you have a bunch of guys that came in this year, and I'm not gonna question their football knowledge or any of that. They're young.
It's just young.
Nobody knows what Tiller meant to college football, to Big Ten football now. The young people don't. I mean, when I say young, I mean people in college.
Like the
They
students
really
now.
don't. Even good fans, they really don't.
But you tell the story, you tell the story like students at Bama tell the story of Bear Bryant, right? It's
Dick
like
Stillwagon says Tiller created Boiler Up. That is incorrect. Arnett Tiller created Boiler Up.
Correct.
So come on, Dick. Let's get with it.
There's
little
Mark
sauce
correcting
on
it.
Mark's on it.
Little sauce.
The other thing I just want to toss out there before you guys, I would love to talk more about Tiller and the Tiller Tunnel. But before we leave the Tedford topic, I just felt like looking at this. Think about the fact that Ryan Walters has not coached a game yet, right? Tedford has coached 193 college football games. And to answer your question about what's wrong with Cal, he was at Cal from 02 to 12.
Right.
And he had, in that time, he had 2 non-bowl seasons. Once he was 5-7, which, okay. And his last year he was 3-9, and that's when he got booted. He went to Fresno. You listen to his 4 Fresno seasons: 10-4, 12-2, 4-8, 10-4. Mercy. And he won bowl games all 3 of those particular seasons. And he's been ranked in all of those years. He's gotten Fresno ranked.
That's a program, right?
That's exactly right. That's a program that has an identity, and they got players that understand what the identity is. That's a tough first game. It's a good first game.
It's a good.
The amount of confidence that some Purdue fans have,
dismays
me a lot. I don't think that's right.
Not warranted at all.
Not warranted. And let's go a step further, right? If you want to feel, I mean, Jay, you and I have talked about this, and Anish talked about this, saying nervous or all that, right? You're not nervous personally. Nobody here is nervous, but at the same time, if you care about Purdue football, which we obviously do too much, you should take this game pretty seriously and not take it like, oh yeah, it's a dub. I mean, don't be that way. You don't know anything. I keep saying that. You just don't know anything.
We're going to absolutely play the schedule game here, but spoiler, the season ends with Northwestern NIU, as it usually does, right? And again, those you are penciling in.
Right,
W's.
so you need 4 between now and then. I know where you're going.
No, but it's the same pencil you should be using for those. You should treat Fresno as a perfectly mediocre, like, Big Ten team when Purdue come in. You know what I mean?
They beat the hell out of Northwestern this year.
That level of
and that's not a
seriousness.
mediocre. That's a bad Big Ten team this year. I use a bad Big Ten team.
I'd say Fresno's better than both of them.
Yes.
I mean, and again, with
Absolutely.
the thing that, like, we don't know what their team is. Every team is very different.
There's no doubt they're better. They're better
coached. Last year was just really good. Like, Fresno had a great last year. They lost their quarterback, whose name is escaping me, but who put up a ton of yards and I think ended up drafted. But not doing as well as Purdue's drafted quarterback last year in preseason games.
Just plays football.
But that's a great program. It's also going under a transition, so I don't know. I'm nervous for this week, but we'll get to the schedule game.
Have we? I was thinking about today, like everything I do with the Handsome Hour. Pardon me. Everything I do with the Quickcast is it's very meticulously planned out. When I say that, I mean it's just some chicken scratch. I'll take like some points. Today, I actually listened to the Walters presser, so I took pretty good notes there. But what happens as I'm talking through things is I'll come up with something. And one thing I thought of is, have we put out our official predictions? We really haven't, right?
Not yet.
So that's where we'll go through the schedule. We'll do that today, and we'll
do schedule game.
Okay,
we'll do schedule game.
That's fine.
But now it's vibes, man.
Minnesota's way above mediocre.
Vibes are great. Minnesota is in a better place than we are. Minnesota's in a better place than Purdue.
By the way,
that's a double-digit, right? The multiple double-digit wins under Fleck, right?
Yep. I don't know about multiple.
I think just one.
I don't know if you want to count the bowl like the bowl is victory.
I would count it.
I'd count it. That's what Jay wants is 10 wins. He would sure as hell. If that 10 came in Orlando or wherever, he's not going to care.
PJ, good old PJ.
Once.
He's only done once, and that was 11 wins, but then back-to-back Niners. Like,
last 2 are 9. Yeah,
that's a great program,
that's
man.
Pretty damn good. And I would say that's way above mediocre in the Big Ten.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know people want to disparage the West, whatever. I mean,
we would be the first in line to make fun of PJ Fleck, please.
Yes, we want reasons to make fun of Fleck.
Yeah.
And in this case, we don't have one. So, yeah. Who is a mediocre Big Ten team to compare with Fresno, or who is one that you could say middle of the pack? Let's put Illinois.
I was just going to say Illinois.
I think Illinois is a little better just because they lost again. They lost a lot.
I like how we're saying this like we know anything about Fresno State.
They're solid. No,
I've watched Fresno State play
last year.
I watched
2
years.
Last year I watched them a couple times. They were the West Coast game because you can't get any Pac-12 games on television. Almost like the thing is dead.
Television's kind of a fad. I don't think.
Yeah, it needs media deals and
I don't think.
And streaming rights deals anyway.
Overrated.
Jake Hayner, is that his name? Anyway, the quarterback that they had last year. But Yeah, I don't know. Like it is in that class, and I would say that at their level right now, they are Purdue peer, and you should not take them lightly.
I
Anyway,
like Mark Goshorn's point.
I would
He
spell it
says
differently, but
Maryland. Mark
Merlin.
Goshorn, Maryland, maybe. I think that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
I think that's a good comparison, and I
Maryland's
think
got the
Maryland's a tough
quarterback right
out.
now.
I think they're
I
very
think
tough out.
Loxley's building a decent program there. I actually think they're
it is.
They're doing it the right
Talia.
way, right? You're seeing growth every year, which is a little scary because I was
They
kind of
and-
hoping he'd fall on his face at one of these
And
points.
once the division,
I was just going to say, they and
breaks
IU
down,
are going to be
that
so
helps.
happy after there's no divisions. I mean,
I don't know
think.
if IU it's going to.
I don't think IU is ever going to be
It's
happy.
IU
really
uses that crutch. IU fans use that crutch, and it's not warranted.
No, it's not. It's not worth it. They had that one magical season, which is great, but like, no, get out of here. Who really should be thankful if they had any semblance of a program that they were building is Rutgers. Hey, remember when Shiano was the only one who could save Rutgers football, and it turns out it's like on a complete downward trajectory. It's a disaster there.
But Rutgers, I mean, it's finally being written about. I've read a few things this offseason. Rutgers never made
Shiano
sense.
knows who the press guys
But no,
are.
Rutgers never made sense for the Big Ten. They didn't belong there. They don't belong there for football or basketball. And those are the big
Sweet
generators,
TV
right?
money, man.
I can tell you, I don't
Last
like them
era.
being in the Big Ten for basketball at all.
Well, now they're finally. No, I shouldn't have.
I don't like them being there.
Pikel has them in their competitive
I
again.
like
Pikel's
Pikel.
They're
I
good.
don't like anything there.
They're legitimately good now.
They
But
are good.
there were a few years. I mean, Purdue, Anish and I, we talk about this all the time. We saw them Purdue beat them by 50 points in a Big Ten game.
Yeah, but then the football game we lost 12-14. I mean, like, get out of here. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this.
Well, the thing with them, they don't have many Big Ten wins, and I think they're all against like Purdue and IU. I don't.
Yeah, it's
I can't think of anyone else that beat them.
Speaking of like
Jeff
teams
Brom
that are in
struggled
that-
versus Rugger.
He never beat them.
I know.
He's 0-2.
I mean, teams in that stratosphere that are really struggling with program building. Like, I don't think Shiano's got it, man. I think he got that money, got that contract, he got the house bought for him on campus.
was different
It's tough
when he
for
was
me
in the Big
to
East,
say
too.
that when he was the guy who built the thing
In
out
the
of
Big
nothing.
East.
They were in the Big East. It was much
I
different.
know, but they got 10 wins.
Oh,
They
they
got
were.
this is again.
They got to like
getting
top
10
5 in the
wins is-
country that year.
Yeah.
They were up to like
Drop a
5 or
con-
6.
Drop a
They were fun to
conference and
watch.
maybe they'll be fine. Drop a level of football and maybe they'll be fine. That's the solution. Maybe
They're
they
one of
should
those
join the
weird programs
Pac-12.
though that doesn't really fit anywhere now, right? They're in the Northeast. They're in a 50,000 seat stadium, so it's not quite enough for like Big Ten or SEC or ACC even. But they're too big for like who are you going to join? Like I guess they could be ACC, but you're certainly not going to go to a
Con USA.
conference that's going away.
Con USA.
Conference USA. That's probably
Perfect.
good.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
They do great in the Con USA too. They'd be great there. They'd
So
get their
it's-
9 or 10 wins probably.
But
somehow.
and all of this
No
is
money.
just to say it's
no
not
money at all.
And again, kind of bring it back to week one. It is not automatic for a coach with success in his past to build a sustainable program again. And Jeff Tedford has proven that he can do that. Be worried. Don't be scared, but be worried. Be nervous. Like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is a real game. So,
Meaning, if you win this game, you should feel really good about it.
huge.
This is not one of those. This isn't a
Absolutely.
win like, whew, man, glad we beat them because that would be terrible to lose to them. This is like if you beat them, like that's a really.
It's
big
saying, wow, what a good
great
start
start.
to this season.
It's not a game-winning field goal against Indiana State, whatever year. when
Right.
they
A game-winning
won
field goal in this
Hazel.
game that'd be awesome.
What
It'd be
awesome.
fun.
I'm digging up handles here, but as Boiler Dowd said, Danny Hope was the only coach to win his Purdue debut since the 90s, since 90.
So,
It's
Ryan
wild.
Walters
I mean, it's
trying to
it's
match
a-
up to that. That's the man you have to live up to.
That's your lofty goal is the Danny Hope bar.
We've often
This
called
is funny.
it the Danny
So
Hope bar. Yes.
LBD is in the room right now. You can't see him. He's off the edge here. But we were talking about. He said, "What did you think? You thought things were pretty good as Purdue beat Toledo and then went to overtime with Oregon." And I said, "No. I didn't think things were pretty good. I thought, hey, maybe they're going to be okay."
You were
that's a
pretty
big
excited
difference.
after that Oregon game.
The
And you know
Oregon
why?
game was
I was,
awesome.
yeah.
Man.
I remember
They were
you
good. Oregon was good.
And
was a
you
student
remember
then.
him up there every time Purdue would tie it, he'd go to the fans and be doing this
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
I
we
was
kind
there.
of liked it because
Oh,
we
we
were like, you know what?
liked it a lot. I know I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
we were
it was
like,
his dream job. It was Danny
It was his
Hope's
dream job. Purdue was
job.
punching back against
Yep.
a big national program,
Big
not
time.
afraid. We liked that, right? They weren't afraid.
Yeah.
They did not look like
And I
the
think
moment was too big.
that's one thing of the Hope guys is they weren't afraid. They weren't afraid of the stage. They weren't afraid of the moment. They even if it was even if it wasn't always accurate, right? They thought, okay, we belong here. They had a program identity. I always say this: Hope teams had a program identity. They were fast, right? There was speed, but the speed would get cut off at the ankles often, and then they were completely
Not quite
ineffective.
fast enough. Not quite fast
Right,
enough.
not quite fast enough. Not quite fast enough.
How many people does the stadium seat?
Right now, well, they don't.
How many people does the stadium seat though? Do you know?
No one knows.
You know?
No one knows right now, and this is one.
It's got to be in the neighborhood of
from
60,
the presser.
It's got to
I
be
don't-
58, 60, something like
No,
that.
you don't know officially. It hasn't been released. The new stadium numbers have not been released.
Well, I'm
and this
guessing.
was
I'm saying, didn't it drop into the 50s after they got rid of
I
the?
think it's going to be up in the 60s again because of those additional seats
Right.
in the south end zone. So, but nobody knows, and that was that. Did you see that point?
I know.
Nate?
That's why I was. That's
Yeah.
why I said it.
Dick Stillwagon says Lil Dunn needs to ditch the red, and I think he knows he should, but
Season hasn't started yet.
Exactly. It's
that's
tough.
the high school
Sometimes
represent.
it's the only excuse to wear red. It's tough.
Let's see something real quick, just for your reference. Hold on, come back in here.
Like,
Yeah, he's got
There
it.
you go. Oh,
Yeah,
he's
it's not
eclipsed.
first. I mean,
He's
that wasn't the
eclipsed the
question.
mighty boiler down bar.
Yeah, it's at the
and you're
top.
wearing shoes.
I am wearing shoes, and he's not. There. We'll do that
Yeah,
real
it's
quick.
probably his hair though. It's probably his hair that does
There we
most of the
go.
work.
That drops it down. The hair does all the work.
Oh, your lifts. You took out your lifts.
Yeah, the
man.
lifts are gone. So there we go.
That's not good. It is what it is, though. It is what it is.
Yeah.
next
So he was
generation
making
of
fun of
work
me,
is
and
you.
my brother was making fun of me for when I got to meet Coach Walters at the chicken place.
Yeah. Do we have? Let me find the picture.
Yeah,
Hold
the
on.
picture's funny, but it shows. I don't know if I was standing in a hole or something, but Coach Walters is absolutely towering over me, like he's a massive
You know when you
human.
met Eric Morris?
I mean, so everything is good. Your impressions of him are good. All of the way that he treats dumb questions in press conferences is good. The way that it feels like Walters has the confidence of the Hope era. He's bringing the confidence and swagger of that era into this. It's all good. It's all good until the game is played, right? And then you start getting nervous. Then you actually have results on the field to talk about.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's the most fun. Like you said, this is almost like media day. Everybody's hopeful. Everything's good. Everything's positive until the kickoff, and then now you're like, okay, now it gets real. And I don't know. I mean, like for me, I don't even think like just because we were talking about history and what other coaches done in their first game, there's no reason to believe that this game is anything other than a first game. We
Yeah,
shouldn't
it's a
look at
first
it any
game.
greater. Tom Dienert talked about the importance of it, and he kind of hit it a little too hard for me. Dienert will do that sometimes where I'm like, all right, you lost me. Saying that this was a very, very important game. It's not a very, very important game unless it's in a vacuum of one. That's the thing. You got to see how does it affect other things. If they come in, they look flat, and they learn something from it, and it makes them a little better, and it gets them to 7 wins, 6 wins. That's pretty awesome. So,
His daughter goes to pictures.
is that right?
Yeah.
So that's Mark Goshorn's daughter goes to Fishers is what
Fisher's big
this guy just
fish.
figured out.
So Hudson Card is going to be the best quarterback in the Big Ten, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Easily.
No question.
No question.
Yeah.
Okay, but like top half of the conference quarterback is like a fair. Again, like we're talking fair and reasonable expectations. Boiler Dad, you got to get some more lifts in you.
That's bad.
That's
No, it's
bad.
really bad.
That's like 2 entire heads.
That's horrible. Like
It looks
it's way
it
over
looks like a
ahead.
kid's camp, and he's getting to take a picture with the camp counselor at the end.
Yeah. He says I should swap your.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
But we're talking.
Camp counselor and 2 buddies,
Yeah.
2 guys that really made a difference, and he made a difference. In
Exactly.
So.
But we're talking fair expectations. Hudson Card should be top half of the Big Ten type quarterback, right? Like that should be a fair expectation for him after everything that's been said so far. Right?
Well, the
I
Big
mean,
Ten
if he's
Network,
not-
when they were on site, they called him the best quarterback they had seen at camp. And then, of course, they cooled off on that and they dropped him into like top 5-ish. And I'm like, we don't know anything any more than they do, but he's pretty impressive by the eyeball test, right? So
He's pretty good. What's the part of the let's stick with the offensive side of things. What's the offensive position group that has you the most nervous?
Jay, you have anything here? I think it's pretty easy for me.
It's the line, isn't it?
It's a line, and then but the tight ends, I know they're kind of quasi part of the line, but now I'm more worried about them right now because of Garrett Miller.
Garrett Miller's out. Gus Hartwig's out. I mean, at least for game one. I don't know, when we'll see mid-season, but it's not going to be seasoned, right? I'm
surprised that Paul Paferi is not
on the chart.
Solidly on the 1 and 2s. Maybe not the 1. I thought maybe he'd be the 1. He's the 3. Exactly. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. So,
wow. We're getting a lot of requests for. I don't know if you have seen that in the side there. We're getting a lot of requests for Nebraska bashing. I think we've really. I think it's become like a little side bit here. It's like everyone really. It's a part of the brand, yeah. So we're gonna just. I'm just gonna make you guys kind of diverge for a second here. I look at their schedule and I want them to be terrible, but I don't know. They open at Minnesota and at Colorado, and if they start 0-2, man. I will be so happy, and Greg will be able to tell us about everything that's happening. I will really be rooting for Dion in that game, that old Big 12. But that's not a great start. They got to start at Minnesota this Thursday night, which is cool, Thursday night game. Then at Colorado next weekend, or I'm sorry, in the following, the 9th. Then they get Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech. Okay, fine. Then they got to play Michigan. Then at Illinois, Northwestern, Purdue, Michigan State, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Iowa. They're probably going to make a bowl.
It's set up. Oh, easy.
They're going to probably make a bowl.
Absolutely. I mean, like, we were talking about PJ, and, like, it's not like, all of their wins are in a vacuum or whatever, but, like, or are not in a vacuum and kind of dependent on each other. But, like, the emergence of Minnesota in this 9-10 win territory has really largely been while Nebraska has been down.
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
Like and it's not like all of those wins will balance, right? But the fact that there isn't another whale in the West, right, outside of Wisconsin, like it left the opportunity for Illinois to make a run last a couple times, like Purdue to grab the West title last year. That Minnesota.
I'm sorry, was that Purdue defending West champs?
That's right.
Purdue's defending West Division champs.
Defending West Division champs.
Underrated comment.
Which one?
Where?
The fact that Purdue was West champs and nobody even seems to care right now. I mean, like, you got to remember history. We got to learn from history.
It matters. It counted.
It did.
Nebraska
it wasn't one of those weird. It wasn't like, for example, a team not winning their college basketball conference tournament, but getting into the tournament,
right?
Because the other team wasn't eligible. Wouldn't be something.
It was all on the up and up. It was all legit.
If a team were to do that, you wouldn't expect them to go very far.
No, you'd probably say they probably don't even belong here.
But unfortunately, I'm with you, Jay Buddy. I think that the tide is behind Nebraska here a little bit.
But the tide's behind them. But if they go 6-6 and make a bowl, that's clearly an improvement. But won't that have been quite a far fall to be excited over bowl wins?
You hate to see it. Somebody's got to be the worst team.
Anyway, this has been your Nebraska hate segment.
That's it.
Hey, Anish, what do you think they'll be like this year? You think they'll be pretty good?
What I saw something.
Long time listener, first time caller.
I saw something on Twitter, and I can't find it again. I need to. They had I think it was like those classrooms where you have the like rings of paper and you like make chains of them, and then you start you slowly start ripping them as you have like different accomplishments or whatever. Somebody did that, except for the actual points that Iowa needs to score. For the head coach to not fire his son, the offensive coordinator.
I think it's for the AD to fire it. No, because remember, he reports to the AD. You knew this nuance, right? He doesn't report to his boss is the AD, not his father.
Sure.
Because we wouldn't want there to be any. We want there to be any, nepotism going on.
No.
So by the way, what I might do is set up a mini ring here for Iowa's. It's the Brian Ferentz thing right here. Maybe
from the minute it was announced, I knew. Every podcast, every smart
I think it's 235
site,
points.
I thought it was 300.
Something
I thought it was
like
25
that.
a game. Isn't it 25 a game? Isn't that
Yes,
how that works?
it's 25 a game, and it counts special teams.
And it counts special teams and defensive touchdowns.
So that's bull crap right there. That part, that's garbage.
The defense is going to score a touchdown, once every other week? Probably.
Sure,
That's the way
absolutely.
that defense is.
right?
They could score 5 or 6 defensive touchdowns this year.
No doubt.
That's already like 35, 40. I mean,
300 points thermometer.
Yeah,
Do it.
At least 20.
Do it. It'll just bring out yellow marker,
That's
yellow
it.
Sharpie. At least 20.
That's it.
oh, it's so great because they're playing. Oh shoot, who are they starting against? They're starting against someone. I was looking at the lines. I sent it to Anish. They're one of the weirdest. I know you're not a gambler over there, Boiler Dad, but even you'll understand this one. They're favored by like 25 this weekend, but the over/under is only 44. And if you think about that, that's hard to do, right? That's basically saying you're going to win by a lot, but you won't score that much.
Utah
35-10.
State.
Utah State. It's
35.
like 28-3 is what people think is going to happen. Which, if they score 28, then he's on his way.
He's on his way.
Would you be shocked if they won like 12-0?
No.
Like it'd be
No, because they set the
Do you
precedent.
guys remember the South Dakota State game last year?
Oh my
They
gosh.
they started.
Didn't they win 9-7 or 7-6 or something?
I don't know. They eventually got to 7, I think, after 2 safeties.
But it was
right?
it was 2 safeties and a field goal,
2 safeties and a field goal. Was
and they
great
won
game.
7-6, I believe, or 7-3.
That's an Iowa touchdown. That's right.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a
what they call
fair
it.
yeah, that's
touchdown.
Count
known
it.
as an
Count
Iowa
it.
touchdown.
Book it. That's great.
And
It's a terrible
that
program.
7
They should
points
feel
would
terrible
count
about it.
for him. That
That's
7
crazy.
points would count.
You know they're gonna have some big white defensive end who's an amazing dude who's like just like a bad guy who like just he'll grab interceptions that are thrown hard as hell right here right at the line of scrimmage and run it back for a pick six 2 or 3 times this year, right? That's just kind of the Iowa way.
What I
A
really
guy
want
you've
to
never
see
heard of
happen-
with like 17 syllables in his name. His name stretches all the way across his shoulder pads. Yeah, exactly. Curves over the number.
starts
that
with
guy's-
like an
that guy will be good.
SZY, something like that.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
But they could come down to. I want them to be down to the last game and need to score like.
Oh, that'd be
55.
great.
I don't want it to be complete. I don't want it to be 100 left. I want it to be like where they could have to go for it, right?
Where they're like 40 left in the last game.
And they got to light somebody
Yeah.
up.
These are the moments.
Don't they play Minnesota
pro-
last always? Isn't that their regular?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
rivalry?
good luck with that.
These are the moments for why it's difficult to leave the hellscape that is Twitter.
That's right.
Oh,
Because that moment, that week, that
it'll be
game,
so much
the
fun.
point
everyone
total,
will be watching.
Yes.
Oh
He's
my
so
god!
good.
And it's going to be such a distraction because they're going to, unless he's way over, on a game by game average. Ferentz is going to get asked about it every week, especially if it starts to become insurmountable, right? If they go like 10, 10, 14, 12,
Right.
20,
Right.
which is completely possible.
Totally possible.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited just for
Yeah.
the stupidity of it. Just
You
like,
got
how
to.
do you-
Yeah, somebody's got to we've got to do a fundraiser.
We can do the guy. We
Well,
can
the
do
worst
the-
will be if they win over Utah State like 55-0, because then you'll be like,
Yeah,
"God
dang
damn
it.
it,
Ah,
already."
they got 2 weeks of points in here.
Exactly.
You can bank those.
Oh
my gosh.
My answer to that my answer to what I'm most scared of, the position group I'm most scared of, is actually the pass catchers. I don't know, man.
I was thinking that too.
Ooh,
I don't know
I
either.
disagree with that.
I know
I like
in
these
theory, I know
receivers.
we've got them. I know,
No. This isn't theory. You got some guys that have done the thing, man. You got guys.
but not as the guy, not as the the bell cows, not as the ones to carry the weight.
Sorry, you don't have a Rondell Moore or Charlie
You
Jones.
don't have Rondell Moore.
Exactly.
David
You don't
Bell.
have
That hurts.
Bell or Moore, but who does? Right?
We did twice.
Ohio State, and Jeff Brom. That's it.
Where was
Yeah, just get Marvin Harrison to transfer over.
So we were asked a couple times there to do the win-loss game, and I think it's. I'd like to mix it up a little, and for your predictos, I would like to predict your predictos
Of course.
because I think I know.
You
what
want
you're
game
both gonna
totals.
say.
You want win totals. Okay.
Well, I'll start with saying what I think you're both going to say. Can I go? Is that all right? Or do you want
National
to reveal?
champs?
Is that okay?
Do you have
I
that on
think
your
you're
board?
going to say 6-6, and Anish is going to say 5-7.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see where we end up. Let's do the
we're
predicto is
we
on.
can't do the game. No, if we do it game by game, I have them at like 8-4 because when I go through it,
That's it.
You're like
I'm
win,
like,
win,
yeah, no, that's a
win,
win.
win.
So here's
Right.
how we did it last year.
probably
Here's
win.
here's how I generally like to think of
All right,
things.
let's do it.
I like, and then we can, if we want to, while we do this, we can go game by game. I don't like lists. I don't like ranking things like specifically on the top 100 NBA players in the game right now.
Listicles?
Because it's like the difference between 67 and 68. What are we talking about here? Like, why are we doing this? What I like are tiers. Not tiers in March and April, but like tiers of like groups that you can talk about together. So in the schedule, it breaks down really nicely, almost like 12 is divisible by 3. It's pretty cool. So you can just go first, third, second, third of the season, and you can deal
Go
with
3 and 1 in each of them.
And why do you got to bring math into this? I mean, every time, Anish, gosh, I draw pictures for a living. I don't know.
First third of the
Play
season.
math.
First third of the season, Fresno at home, at Virginia Tech, home versus Syracuse, and home versus Wisconsin. What is the reasonable over-under expectations there?
2.5.
Two,
Over under.
so, okay, 2.5.
If you gave me 2.5 on those 4, I'm taking the under.
I take the under 2. I say 2 wins. 2 and 2.
I
what are
think
you-
that if the over-under for success there should probably be 1.5. If you're at 2 wins, if you're at 2 and 2 going out
That's
of Wisconsin, that's a great start. If you're at 1 and 3, it's probably not great, but at least you've banked that one. Hopefully you're hoping to see good things. If you're at 0, it's a disaster, brother. It's just tough. It's tough. It's not
What
a
if you're
disaster.
3 and 1? What if
but
you're
it's
3
tough.
and 1?
It's tough.
What if you're 3
you're
and 1?
3 and 1,
I think they're 3 and 1. We're all rich, right? Isn't that how it works? We're
That's
all going to
it.
be millionaires.
That's it.
Places some
So
big
let's-
bets on it.
Yeah, big,
So let's
big
set
money.
Virginia Tech's bad, guys. Syracuse
That's
is bad.
that's
Virginia
that's what
Tech's
we
bad.
both we saw a comment earlier. It says Virginia Tech's a loss. I think it was.
Oh, I think they're probably going to lose.
Because
I
it's,
don't.
it's
I
the on the
don't.
road
Well,
game.
you're going to be there, so they're probably going to lose. You're going to ruin it.
Virginia Tech.
But
is
no, I think that should
not
be a
good.
win. I really do.
It
I really
should
believe
be.
that
I
should be a win.
agree. I
They're
agree.
bad,
but
man. They're bad.
You know what I'm saying? I agree. It should be a
know.
win, and I think it will be a loss. I think
And it could be the
That's
opposite
a
of the,
right there. It's my brother.
but it could be the opposite of the Fresno game, right? If the Fresno game, like you said, we're on the road, like that's a respectable
Right.
team.
Oh, I'd love to have Tech at home this
But
year.
Virginia Tech is not a respectable team. The only thing they've got on their side is that they've very good fans. It's early in the season, regardless of how good or bad they are, they're not going to jump ship.
I think it's a winnable game. It's very much a winnable game. And Purdue,
And-
depending on week 1, who knows who's going to be
Well, and I
favored.
think I
It'll
was
be
saying
close.
this. I think I said it on last week's show. I'm glad the Tech game is at noon. I don't know that I would want to play them under the lights at Tech.
I want to catch them as unawares as possible. Yes.
Maybe they're a little sleepy at noon. The Enter Sandman thing isn't as exciting. It's not dark.
Big lunch of spaghetti.
I think
of
Syracuse-
fettuccine Alfredo.
You say SpaghettiOs?
I did. I almost said
SpaghettiOs?
spaghetti Alfredo, and that would have been a completely different thing. That's a completely different thing.
I think Syracuse. They should. I think Syracuse of those first 3 is the most likely win, or should be the most likely. I think Syracuse they should beat the hell out of. I don't think
The
Syracuse
most
is
likely out of those two.
Yes.
Yes. You think
Home
yeah,
against
I
Syracuse
totally
at
agree.
night.
I think they'll
Already
beat-
sold out.
Should
Already
be fun.
sold out.
Yeah.
That night's going to be so fun. That is going to be such a great night in Ross Ade, I
agree.
think. Even if they're not if they're 0-2, but no, still even if
makes
they're
you think
0-2.
makes you think maybe it'd be a good one to go to. I don't know.
Who knows?
I mean,
Who knows?
people are
Who can say?
saying.
Who can say?
people are saying that'd be a fun one to be there for different reasons.
And
Then
then
Wisconsin, that's a win,
Wisconsin on a Friday
Wisconsin's a
night.
dub.
Wisconsin
Friday night.
on a Friday night.
Purdue doesn't
4-0.
lose to Wisconsin on Friday.
Listen, guys. I cannot understate this. I can't overstate this enough. There we go. They're installing the air raid offense.
I know.
This is the
Phil
first
Longo.
time Purdue has like a legit thing there where you can say they can beat Wisconsin. I mean this. I'm not kidding around. And I mean this for years. I think this changes the complexion of this rivalry. Like the fact that they're going to have the same offenses, at least for a couple years.
And start beating Purdue a different way. Start out shooting Purdue.
No. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this year is well, who
Look at
knows?
this optimistic guy. Look at this guy.
Just for
4-0.
that game, not for everybody, not for every game,
Yeah, for that one.
but that one, yeah.
On a Friday
You-
night, Ross Ade on a
So
Friday
you think
night.
win?
That
It's
could
just
be
been
fun.
LBD says it's just been since
Yeah,
2004.
not too long.
It's not that long.
Yeah.
I mean, he was born in 06.
Your lifetime. Yeah.
Significantly more than your lifetime, yes.
I think
I-
it's 03, actually, guys.
Oh,
I
sorry.
think it's
It is
03.
03.
That's better.
20 years ago.
Yeah,
So
04 was who knows what happened in 04? I can't even remember.
They did lose in 04.
Yikes.
Yes.
That was
Oh,
kind of an important game for Purdue fans.
I've told you. What have
Like
I called
all
it?
said, that's the fulcrum point.
It's the apex.
Yep.
It's never been that high again.
Nope.
That was the day.
Not
It's
even
rare you
close.
can pinpoint it, but that was it.
Yep.
That
To the
morning,
play.
you were there. Game day was there. You were there.
Is
You
there
were
a specific play in that game that stands
Oh my
out? Oh,
gosh.
never mind. I'm
See,
sorry.
the thing is, I argue that it's Kyle Smith dropping the interception, and I don't have a lot of allies in this argument, but I would
because that's not what people
I'll
remember.
die on that hill,
I know.
though.
I know what you mean. It's well, and you know the other thing with that I remember at the time you saying people were on Orton saying he should try to make things happen more.
Right.
I remember he was kind of sits back, he was always kind of a laid back guy, and he was trying to make something happen.
And I have such a hard time getting after the guy for that.
Of course, I agree. I've never held it against Orton. And then isn't there a famous video just like that of Breeze, except he scores? I think it's against Michigan State.
Right, and it's
where he goes into the corner and gets like helicoptered into the corner.
I think maybe is that Notre Dame? Maybe Notre Dame.
Maybe Notre Dame, but it was the same exact kind of play. It was like going for his
right.
But we're talking about something from.
So you're saying if Orton holds on to the ball, he probably gets invited to the Heisman and has an amazing NFL.
He was
career.
a top Heisman candidate at that point.
I know.
We know Purdue.
He had
as
20
a,
touchdowns and
national
like
title
one
contender.
pick at that point in the season.
Have you guys seen that stat about like it's like Orton and all these great quarterbacks? I don't remember what it is about like yards in the NFL or something.
Yeah, he's. I mean, there's a guy that on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw this, who was just amazed that Purdue has. They talked about O'Connell being the great Purdue quarterbacks, and I was like, this guy doesn't know anything. He doesn't know the history of Purdue. That quarterbacks really define the success of the program. Cradle to quarterbacks. He didn't know any of that. It was very interesting, and a lot of Purdue fans jumped in like, "Yeah, man, welcome to the thing. This is what Purdue's identity comes from."
Purdue quarterbacks have thrown for more NFL yards than any school's quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's not like a weirdo made up stat. That's like a real thing. Like that's pretty incredible.
Kind of helps when you have the whale, of the yardage stat, but that's
Breeze
good.
throwing for 75,000 yards or whatever it was.
Yeah,
But
hey,
no.
it helps. Hey, it counts.
It
counts like our Big Ten West title.
Yeah, but it's not just. That's the thing. It's not just Breeze. It's the fact you do have over decades different guys pop up and do things in the NFL.
The Hudson Card.
And the other thing that I look at is like I hate the fact that everything is judged through an NFL prism. This guy judged everything through that, right? Because he wasn't a college fan.
Oh yeah.
But I look at the college success that all these quarterbacks have had at Purdue. It's noteworthy. Obviously,
Billy Dickin. How about guys like that?
He lit the conference on
great
fire.
Quarterbacks, great college players. There's a huge difference.
Guys naming dudes. So Fresno, Virginia Tech, Syracuse,
So wait a minute.
Wisconsin.
Yes, before we go off the
Three
first
home
third
games.
of the season, Boiler,
We're not even through the first third.
Were you saying Wisconsin's a win? Is that what I heard?
No.
you say?
No,
Let's not be.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, I did not count them as a win. No.
Okay, all right. So you're saying they're going to win 2 of the first 3 then?
I think they're gonna win 2 of 4.
So,
Well, you said they're not going to beat Wisconsin, which means you think they're going to win 2 of the first 3.
so I think the fair consensus here is let's say 1.5. The over under is set at 1.5.
I'll say over at 1.5.
That's
Under
fair.
2.5.
I'll take 2.
Okay. So let's bank that and move to the next to the middle third. Home versus Illinois. Homecoming. There's some Illinois Purdue connection this year. I don't really know what it is. I haven't done my homework. It's fine. They're at Iowa. Home versus Ohio State. A bye week, and then at Nebraska.
Ooh, boy, that's a fun 4-game stretch.
So
that could
that's
be...
a stretch. So
Can you
we're going to
repeat
do
that
the
one more time?
over-unders
Repeat it
again.
one more
We're going
time. Repeat it
to
one more time. Repeat it
So
one more
we're
time.
doing it. Yeah. So again,
You got to pay attention to the show if you're on it. That's one of the rules.
We're doing over-unders for this third. Let's see it again. Home versus Illinois on homecoming. At Iowa. Home versus Ohio State. A bye week, and then at Nebraska. That's a stretch, man.
I think if you come out, okay, how about this? If you come out of that with 2 wins, you're much happier even than the first 4.
I would almost set the over/under on that stretch for a
half.
fair at a half win. If you get 1 there, you feel okay. If you're limping out of that with 1
I
win,
think you should feel decent about your chances against Illinois at home.
sure.
I think Purdue, for some reason, weirdly, does not fear, like other schools do, going to Iowa or hosting Ohio State. Now, I don't think that means they'd win either one of them, but I think a lot of programs have a tough time at Iowa, right? A lot of programs do. And everybody gets their ass kicked by Ohio State. Purdue's the one exception in both of those. So, like, if you told me you felt good about one of them, I wouldn't say you're crazy because there's actually evidence. What do we say all the time when Purdue does bad things? And people say, no, but they're going to be good this year. And we say, but we've seen this play before. We've seen it over and over. One thing we've seen over and over on the good side is them going into Iowa and making a mess of Iowa's season, or Ohio State coming to Purdue. Now, as we've talked about, Ryan Day is never going to stop reminding Ohio State of what
I don't
happened.
think that's happening.
I don't think this is Urban Meyer here. I don't think this is a guy that has that much of an ego where he's like, yeah, cakewalk here. This is just Purdue.
He's going to show
I know,
them.
like they just beat me. Don't worry about that.
But
Like,
I
ignore
just
that.
saw that there was this documentary about the swamp. His time
What a
in the
bunch
swamp.
of crap
I
that
thought he was
documentary is.
great.
Don't waste your
They were
time.
just
I
hard.
did not.
They're just
I
a
did not.
hard-working
I would-
team.
Yeah,
I
just a
would-
bunch of hard workers.
I'd never do that. I'd never watch that. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
I don't think that Purdue, as long as Ryan Day's there, I don't think Purdue stands a chance. I think that loss is imprinted at the front of his memory, and at the front of all Ohio State's memory. Iowa, we talked about this with Nebraska, right? Which is the opportunity for Minnesota was there because Nebraska wasn't present. Every now and then Iowa pops up and reminds you of why Kirk Ferentz has been there for 800 years, right?
Both
This
this
is
is
kind
all the time. They're always due for one of those. He'll be like, aren't they due for like a 9-0 start and to win 11 games? And
Doesn't it feel like, I mean, again, we're all expecting Luke Fickell to win gobs at Wisconsin.
you guys both seem to think it's going to take a year or two. I'm not sure it will.
Exactly, but what if it takes a year? What if Minnesota takes half a step back and all of a sudden Iowa runs away with it this year? Like you could
Completely
kind of
doable.
see, and
Absolutely.
in a year where he needs to get his final contract extension, or maybe he's in his mid-career stage where he just needs to get another contract extension. Like
Isn't he like 65?
yeah, it's he looks like the Crypt Keeper. No,
That dude's in great shape for an old man, though.
he
I mean,
is.
we always talk about other dudes that are bad dudes as coaches. That guy could still scrap, I think. So, but
Yeah, but that's mostly because he's got hatred of the world etched on his face. I could see this being one of those strange Iowa runs the table type years.
it feels like they're due for one of those, where they have like fifth string running back doing big things, and like I said, some defensive end who scores
guys,
every game.
Monty
I have to
Python.
interject here since you're talking about Iowa. You know how we all thought it was kind of crazy that Purdue got 7 home games this year? Or not crazy, but we were like, oh, that's kind of cool,
Yeah,
right?
it's
7 home games.
noteworthy. Yeah, sure.
Iowa has 8 home games and only 4 road games.
It's all setting up for the Hawkeyes, baby.
They
It's all
play
setting up for my Hawkeyes.
They play at Iowa State on September 9th, at Penn State on September 23rd, at Wisconsin on October 14th. So they got a couple tough road games. And then they don't have another one until their last game at Nebraska. So their road games they're actually all kind of tough road games. But they only have 4.
I think this is another
How does this even
one
happen?
there's another one where he pops up and he wins something like 9 games and
He's going to win
ends up in the
8
top
without even
25.
trying.
9-10 wins, ends up in the top 25, wins the West by default, and yeah, that's it. It is what it is. I mean, what a way for the Big Ten West to go out with an anonymous Iowa win.
John,
It's perfect, right? For the West, isn't that perfect?
It's complete, and then getting smoked in the Big Ten championship game.
Right. By whomever.
By
Right.
one of the
IU.
3. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You. I know the problem with the divisions going away is
Sorry.
the problem with the divisions going away is we're missing the chance to see Purdue and IU play 2 times in a row.
That's
in
it.
the bucket game and then the
We were
Big
there.
Ten championship game.
We were there. We showed up.
Everybody thought that was going to happen
Yeah.
at least once.
We showed up.
Yes,
So-
Handel. Iowa only has 3 Big Ten road games. That's correct. They go to Penn State, they go to Wisconsin, and they go to Nebraska.
So in this middle third, there's the bye week and then at Nebraska. That could be a surprise win, but again, Nebraska
We don't
is
know.
now going to be a little bit more buttoned up, I think.
Okay, but if you want to have a bowl kind of season, you want to
That's
have
one
a
of
good.
them.
You got to win. It's at home, isn't it? No, it's at Nebraska.
No, that
Sorry.
one is away. That one's away.
They're not afraid of that either, though. They're
But
really not.
speaking of if
So you, Anish, you're a role believer. You're a believer. You think that's
my
the guy.
bowl,
That's
I
it,
don't
right?
have bowl expectations for this year, but if you did, one of the 2 of that Illinois game and Nebraska game, like you gotta have like those, like you've got to have at least one, if not both of those, right?
Yep. I think that's a good call. So I've got
to
3
me-
wins so far.
To me, that is a half win. Like that, there, like the over under there is a half. That's half win.
Oh,
If you
sorry.
get one,
Somebody, Ted, and someone else corrected me. They do play a neutral site game. Sorry, but they still do only have 3 road games. Yes, they play Northwestern.
Where's the neutral site?
Wrigley.
Okay. Oh, that is neutral. That is truly neutral.
against Northwestern. Who, I mean, come on, that's a gimme. That's a.
It'll
frickin'
be filled with people
exactly.
in
The
yellow
drive-
and black.
the
There's a lot
Iowa
of our
drive
fans
is
in
not that.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's a home game
travel
against
well.
Northwestern. This year's Northwestern. That's
Right.
come on.
That was,
So anyway,
that was the
what are
side
we
note.
saying?
It's going to be really good this year.
You're really
I
good.
know.
You're ready for
They're
shock
gonna
the
be-
world. Them against the
Yeah.
world is what you're saying? That's
Them against the world.
we all agree with that.
But that at Nebraska, I don't know. I'm not feeling great about that one. So
feeling
I
good
think
about
it'd be a half. But you guys seem to be
So
a
you
little
say
bit
one.
higher.
So let's say 1 out of those 4.
0 to 1 is my expectation. in
Let's
that.
be optimistic. So let's say
One.
they're going to win 1.
Okay.
So they're at 3 now.
So let's say 3. Rounding up, let's say 3.
Right. Okay.
And then you've got
Final
the
Four.
end of the season where that's your lasting memory going
This
into
is
the
where the fun
offseason.
comes. Yeah.
At Michigan, that is not where the fun starts.
that's
I'm
not where the
sorry.
fun-
We've
No,
had
there's no fun
John in the side pick. He's at least twice he's mentioned he's picking a win over Michigan. I believe in you, John.
Oh
I-
my
I
God.
hope
Who
you're
is
right.
is Jack Harbaugh coaching that game? What's going on? Who's the
Who's
head coach?
got it better than us?
Which Harbaugh is coaching that game? Nobody, Jay.
It's Mike Hart
Annoying.
is right. Mike Hart, head coaching candidate, is right there. Sharon Moore, head coaching candidate, right
I
there.
think Hart gets
And-
one of the games, doesn't he?
And what Harbaugh did
Oh, he's
is
sharing a
made
game.
he did. I think there were 2. Like he's gone 3 games, right? So the first game and the last game, there's one. Or whatever interim head coach, and then the middle game there are 2 associates, and then he's made Jack, his dad, one of the assistant coaches for that 3-game stretch, which I don't know if he gets hazard
The
pay. or what.
nepotism?
I know.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's just insane behavior. At Michigan, spoiler, it's a night game. Yeah.
Yes, I saw that
that's-
graphic.
That is not happening. Yeah, there you go. That graphic right there.
And then, Jack Harbaugh and Ben Herbert as the associate and assistant head coach. So, yeah.
Isn't
It's
Jack
insane
Harbaugh
behavior.
like 100 years old at this point?
Yes. Yes.
Oh
He
yeah.
has to be.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he like coach Western Kentucky good? I saw
Like
that.
40 years ago?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a century ago.
Kind of established that, established the first winning of that program. Western Kentucky this year will be pretty fun. Also, the Purdue's Plan B. If Ryan Walters didn't come to town, Tyson Helton would have brought his whole staff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
maybe Western is a nice fun B team for Purdue to watch. Maybe a home field apparel shirt to buy if they have it. I don't know. Maybe check it.
Jack Harbaugh's 84, by the way. Just
Holy
a spry
moly.
84. Born in
Spry
1939.
to be an associate head coach. Okay, so after the Michigan loss,
Wait a minute. Sorry to interrupt, Anish. Is he the associate head coach all year, or is he just filling in because they
I
need
think
him?
it's just
No.
the
I don't
games.
think he's this.
He's definitely filling in.
Yeah.
Right. That makes
It
perfect
can't
sense.
be.
Just bring an old man in to. I mean, talk about overconfidence when you know you have more talent. It's like
Well,
you
those
know,
first couple games are a joke.
they're
I
a
mean,
joke, and it's like your program is in such a position like you can take it that lightly. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Kevin Spry appreciated the Spry reference. So we're there for you, Kevin. That's
So following that, that's when the fun could begin, right? Where it's home versus Minnesota, at Northwestern, home Indiana. You can
win.
You can have 2.5 win expectations there, right? Like that is a fair.
If you pick up the last 3, you make a bowl.
All of a sudden, we've talked ourselves into this that a bowl is fairly reasonable. This is terrible.
Totally reasonable.
This
It
is
is
terrifying.
reasonable. This assumes 0 upsets.
Listen,
Fair?
listen.
but
To
it
say
also-
reasonable and with this schedule, 6 wins. We don't know anything about this team. We just
And
don't know anything.
The flip side of that is that we're counting every coin flip in Purdue's favor. You know what I mean? So 0
I'm not.
upsets, but all of these games, Minnesota is a coin flip. I mean, like Illinois has been good the last couple of years. Illinois is a coin flip, right? Fresno is Jeff Tedford, man. I'm scared.
Virginia Tech. Yeah, I know. Fine. Anish. 2 wins. Is that what you want to hear?
So you are asking me at the
You're
end of
getting
this.
into
So
Daryl Hazel zone, baby.
They won't be that
Asking
bad.
me what happens here. I think Purdue wins 2 or 3 out of the last ones, but I don't know if I can see a season with more than 5 wins, and I would be thrilled with 5 wins.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you at the start of this segment?
I
You're just
actually
gonna
was
say
leaning
5 and
for.
7.
I was leaning for, and I'm like, let me get a little happy.
I
I'm
know
not
what we're
happy.
talking about here.
But like, yeah, I'm right at that 4.5 line, where it's like, show me a good season, show me a good Hudson Card
And that would be
season.
fine. That'd be
Show
fine.
show me growth. A Purdue team defined by defense, defined by a secondary that's bringing in a whole bunch of transfers that on paper seem good. Like, show some spunk there, and all of a sudden, like, yeah, 4 or 5 looks good. It looks fine. It looks solid. It's a new era, right?
Still Dickwagon has a lot of comments about the pace of our show and the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry. Did they call him a Dickwagon? Sorry. Wagon.
Oh, is this a 1 hour
He
segment?
made a lot of comments.
Sorry, we didn't move fast enough.
He said he's going to take it to his nightstand. Listen, dude, I don't know what you need to listen to when you're getting into bed. Like, it could
Right,
be us.
but it might be Jay in a tight ringer tee.
What we should do is we should preview the season every week. We should do. We should make this a
Just redo it all and say, okay, now I think.
How do you
that
feel
4-game
now about
segment
game
is-
2 after watching Purdue?
That is what we
beat
do
Fresno
every
by
week.
a billion.
It's a weekly podcast about Purdue football. What do you? How structured should it be?
We're supposed to talk about something else other than the season in week 1. Mark Goshorn says this is a very pragmatic podcast. I don't like it. I know we have the
man.
scars here. We have the scars.
This site has reached adult age 18,
we're
so now it's very
responsible
responsible
bunch.
and mature.
Yep, no doubt.
No young fans.
Yeah,
No young fans.
Now,
we were marking about
Yeah,
that earlier.
we were
today.
talking about that earlier.
He told me how to get there. He told me how to crack the code.
oh, did he?
TikTok.
I mean, or just like YouTube.
Not gonna
Shorts,
happen.
But TikTok is
I'm not doing it.
better, but I'm not gonna do that.
I'm going to rely on a niche for this to happen. and
I
I'm
don't
not-
even have it installed.
I
on my
didn't think
phone.
so. I really didn't.
good.
So
Well,
All right. Well,
Good
we're
dinner,
over
you
an hour here, so I think we should. You want to take a few questions?
Let's go.
You wanna
Rapid
take a-
fire.
where did you? So did
1
you
hour
all-
rapid fire segment.
I'm actually below. I'm at 5, not 6.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm at 4 to 5. I think. What's
I'm at
yours,
5.
J Money?
6 and 6.
6. Oh, J Money bringing in the double-digit wins
I
here.
love it.
By
I
the
hope you're
way,
right.
one
That's
of the
where
things-
I was before tonight, but I'm at 5 right
Yeah,
now.
I'm
My
at
phone
I could
is
see-
Talked you out of it.
But you
Yeah,
can
kinda.
you can see if Card hits, if the defense lives up to it, the path to 6
potential.
is not unreasonable. And so I
No.
do think that when some of our online brethren out there predict 6 and 7 wins, as much as I might disagree with that, especially in the first year of a completely new identity of Purdue football, like, it's not out of the question. It's not completely out of the question.
No,
It's
not at
completely
all.
It's
I
well
just,
within.
I don't see. Here's the thing. Somebody brought this up a while ago. They said their biggest concern in the, their biggest concern was the quarterback position if Card goes down. And
Yeah, well,
yeah, and I was like, that it'd be a horrible thing for this program if Card goes down. So
walk on really as his primary backup, right? But
not
it's
really. It's the kid from Arizona State. who
Arizona
just
State,
got
the
DUI.
transfer,
And
yeah.
then after that, you've got
Meredith.
Brown, right? Who would be the third
Mhm.
guy in line, who's a scholarship player, but he's a true freshman. He probably should be
Ryan Brown, yeah.
absolutely should be redshirted.
Yeah.
That's a rough scenario, and I would guess that Graham Harrell thinks, man, this is the guy who really has his hands around the understanding of what this offense is supposed to be. So the bad thing is Card is going to run the ball a bit. To keep him healthy for 12 games is asking a lot. So
who needs a line these days? I think we do have one though. I think the line will surprise in a good way.
yeah, I do too.
But I don't know. I'm not as confident about the receivers, but I hope.
See, this is the thing. The receivers,
Okay, we'll see.
I'm all in with that group.
We'll
I
see.
really believe it. I really believe this is a good bunch.
And I suppose we should talk about the other side because this is Walter's side of the ball. But I think the corners will be. I think the pass defense is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be really good.
It's a point of importance for him. Obviously, if you look at the way he's recruiting, DBs really matter.
Yeah.
The problem you've got again is how quickly does this group gel and understand the concepts. That's again that I keep saying that same thing, and
It's going to take a year. It's going to take a year. Because this is a
If it
complicated.
takes a year, you're looking at 4 or 5 wins, right? I mean,
It's a complicated defense, but again, you're looking for a foundation. This is here's another bingo word for these. It's you're looking for a foundation, and this is kind of what 4 or 5 wins show me a good foundation of a defense, of an identity, and it's good. It's great. Questions, J-Mo?
Oh, well, I don't know how much more press I want to give Dick Stillwagon, but he did ask. If you scroll back a little, he asked if we'll have a 400-yard offensive game. It's Purdue, man. You're gonna have a 400-yard offensive game in the first 3 games for sure. For sure. Book it.
Graham Harrell.
Rack it. Rack me.
we're not
Whatever.
yeah,
the
rack you,
expression is.
rack you.
We're not Iowa.
They're gonna against Syracuse.
Worst case scenario.
400 yards offense against
That'd
Syracuse.
be
They're gonna have
nice.
400 yards for Syracuse in 3 quarters.
All respect to Dino, but that'd be nice.
Oh please. They're gonna.
I hope so. I hope so.
They're gonna. Don't worry. That'll be the 3rd game. The offense will be clicking. It'll be under the lights at night. That game is. There's a 50 burger waiting for you there, guys. Going to that game. Just putting it out there.
That's that's a 45 to 50 game, isn't it?
Thank you. I'm speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
On the X, Bodie Bowler, Z Young. He's got all sorts of names. He asks, can we expect the old gold pants at any point this season? As though we know anything about uniforms.
No. They're never gonna wear old gold again. And I'm not like trying to put anybody down who asked that question, but every time I bring this garbage up, anybody in the athletic department tells me I'm a moron. And they're like, Vegas gold is the most beautiful thing ever. No, it's horrible. Vegas gold is horrible. If you watch Vanderbilt play this week, you saw how beautiful
You can
those
like
damn
Vegas gold.
No,
pants
this
look.
is hold on. This is an ISO play, J Muddy. This is an ISO play. Let
sorry.
him go. Let him
Yeah.
cook. Let him
Clear out.
cook.
Clear out.
Yeah. This is his thing. Let him cook. Let him cook.
What's the Kobe move? That was the fake play. Just give the ball to Kobe.
Yeah. I'm passionate about this one, and I don't have any reason to believe otherwise. There's nothing in these tea leaves that you think if you're gonna throw back gold pants, you do it during the throwback game.
What?
Yeah. But instead, we're going to piss Vegas gold, guys, all the time. It's gonna be here for the rest of your lives.
You got to drink
Just
more water,
resigned
man.
to it.
That's not healthy.
FYI, about the 400 yards, I was looking at it, and last year against Syracuse, O'Connell had 424 yards.
By himself.
And-
By himself.
Purdue had
And
485.
by the way, and he was hurt.
We're only at
before the
485,
quarter.
so
He
they
got
had
the
60
shot
yards
in
on
the
the
ribs, and he
ground.
still lit him on fire.
That's good. Nice job, guys.
So, good point.
Mark Garrity asks, does AOC start for the Raiders this year? Does he win the starting job, or does injury open it up for him?
No.
He starts at least one game, and it's because his starting quarterback is Jimmy G.
Over under 3.5 games for O'Connell starting. I say over.
Starting?
Under.
Starting. I say
Yeah.
over.
I'd say under, but you're
Under
right.
this
Garoppolo could.
Jimmy G is made of
I
glass.
have
man.
no faith in Garoppolo's health.
I think it'll be like a concussion, and he'll be out like 2 weeks or something, and he'll just play 2 weeks.
Jimmy G's made of glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made of sugar. He's a sweet little guy.
Um,
All right.
Rob P. Packet Voice says, you guys will like this one. As happy as I am for what Brom accomplished at Purdue, I'm having a hard time pulling for him at Louisville. What level?
Not me.
What level of success do you want him to have?
I want to beat IU. That's about it.
He says, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I hope they lose to IU in week 3. No, I'd like to see him pound IU. I
Let's
think that'd
not
be
get
hilarious.
crazy here.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
That'd be super funny. We'll let him win 2 games, 1 over IU. I think that'd be great.
I think he sees the IU colors, and no matter what whatever,
That's
no
it.
matter
That's
what
it right
team
there.
he's coaching, he's just
That's
he
the
goes.
thing. That factor matters. He likes seeing IU come through a tunnel. He's ready to go.
It's it.
That's good.
So yes, you're right. I will root for. I was in Louisville a couple weeks ago, and I did say they did have the banner. They did have the billboards out, and the signs out that say Braum is back or whatever and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
They're happy.
know,
Happy.
it is what it is.
It worked out for everybody, guys. It really did. I mean,
did.
it was the time. It was
How
time
much
for-
success do I want him to have? The success he had over the last 6 years, and then that one game against IU, that'd be great. Other than that, it's another generic program out there. It's Florida State. I don't care.
Right.
I don't like Louisville's athletic department at all. So
Right.
the fact that he's in bed with them, and the fact that they're worshiping at an altar, and you've got all sorts of weird nepotism things happening there, I just whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I think you guys, by the way, to the maybe fewer people like me are using X than they used to. It's still at twitter.com, so I'm kind of confused by that. But the questions are, I'm not, you guys are, I know it's early. I know the season hasn't really started, so I expect a little bit more next week. But we did have one other one from Cody Ross. He asked, will Boiler Dad be streaming game 1 via MetroNet?
I'm going to be there in person.
Because he has to. He can't rely on the MetroNet.
I can't rely on the MetroNet. They've already, like it's the thing. Once you've betrayed me, MetroNet, you're on my list.
Instead, he has to rely on the great Stadium AT&T data, which will be amazing.
Which will be awful. I won't be able to X tweet or whatever we call it.
Sweet?
Sweet?
Something like that?
I don't know how to do that. No, I mean, that's the thing. It's going to be awful in Ross Ade, as it always is, because there are more than 25 students there, and AT&T didn't see it coming. How about this? They're all going to be on their phones, jackholes. Learn it. Put up extra mobile towers, you dicks. Sorry. Gosh.
Now Dick wants to invite us to a tailgate.
Minor. Gosh, somebody got to stop this.
Now Dick wants to invite us to a tailgate.
He's
going to be mean to us the whole time we're there?
I know, exactly.
I only want to come to your tailgate if it's like the thing that Oklahoma comes racing out in, and that thing that flipped over a couple years ago. Because Dick Stillwagon sounds like he needs to be on.
Dick Stillwagon should be in some sort of covered
wagon.
Yeah. It can be
when it's
one or two
tailgating, it's
horses
parked.
drawn. It doesn't have to be ridiculous, but there has to be a horse there. I would think just maybe tied on a post.
Kevin Spry asks, what is the best, I assume he means best Ross Ade concession item, non-alcoholic, and why is it Taki?
Skittle Coke.
I did show this to Boiler Dad earlier, but I do have remnants of Morgantown here in the background.
I do have that one too. I think you made me save that.
I saved it because it's just metal, shiny. It's got the P. Yeah, there you go. Morgantown would never be there.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the new stadium, but I'm excited to hear the review when you go. I will not be there this weekend, but I'm excited
Chris
to hear.
Beeler says they're addressing the internet in the stadium. Well, let me tell you, Chris, I'll believe it when I see it.
They didn't say that they were solving it.
Right. They just said they were addressing it. We've been through this.
Through internet.
Goodness gracious.
Dear internet.
So stupid.
They placed antennas at every entry to the. I think Chris is messing with us now.
Yeah.
Those are light towers.
Right.
Those aren't antennas. That was.
They're putting like Radio Shack antennas in.
Right.
They don't
the rabbit ears.
Somebody's got them pressed into the cracks in the concrete. the wire coming off there.
I have a question. By the way,
you got MetroNet in there.
I don't know if you guys remember. I put a Boiled Sports sticker in Ross Ade, and I think I promised free swag to anybody who took a picture of themselves with it, and no one did. And my son is saying, I wonder if it's still there through the renovation. So we'll have to find out. It won't. We'll have to take a look. Yeah. But I'll hold that up for this year. You still have
how dedicated are some on this podcast? They live 1,000 miles away, and they still have season tickets. That's pretty dedicated.
It's like 700 miles. It's not 1,000 miles.
It's a billion miles for me.
Don't be silly.
Listen, if you get outside of Marion County, Hamilton County Metroplex, you're coming so far away. I mean, how do you do it?
And he just tells me I'm the crazy one all the time. He does it all the time, and his logic is being 6 or 7 hours away versus being 11 hours away makes it insane.
It's twice as far, and you have twice as many tickets as me. This is a factor of 400 by my.
I have twice as many tickets as you. Oh, to as many games?
Yeah.
You know, Anish has a mini plan this year. That's been swept under the rug.
He's got a mini ticket plan.
I do. I bit the bullet.
Yeah, boy.
I'm believing in Big Ryan over here.
Yeah, let's go. I think there's no reason not to believe yet. So
exactly. See, it's
Big Ryan.
I'm not Big Ryan.
You're Big Ryan.
No, you're Little Ryan.
Little Ryan.
You're Little Ryan. I thought we
every now and again we release. We put all the cards out there, and they're out there again. That's what we just did. That was a lot.
Yep.
Any more questions, Jay?
Nothing on the Twitter. Is there anything else we want to address before we let everyone
Here, how
go?
about this? Who's your breakout player of the year? Did you guys do that yet?
I mean, it's
You've been here
every
the whole
time Michael Hogg replies to Dick Stillwagon, I'm laughing in my head. By the way, every single time. I mean, every time I've chuckled to myself. So, thank you.
Breakout I'm going to
What?
pretend like the Purdue injury bug doesn't exist, and yeah, it's Hudson Card. It's going to be Hudson Card. It has to be for this to be the season, for this to be a good kind of transition. Yeah, the defense will be good, and there are a couple on paper defensive backs that you could pick, but it's got to be Card.
When was Purdue's last full season with a single starting quarterback?
Oh,
What?
Man, that's a good question.
Yeah, it wasn't last year. Because last year at the beginning,
It's before the Blau
made it.
Sindelar era.
Yeah.
oh yeah, because and then we
Mercy.
had the quarterback chimera under Danny Hope.
could it have been Sindelar the year before he lost it to Blau, or no?
No, he never played the whole year. He never started the whole year. So
Could
Curtis
it be as
Painter
far
is
back
probably
as
the
like
answer.
Curtis Painter is probably the answer.
Holy
Because
moly!
I don't
it
know if
is.
Rob-
It
I don't
has
know-
to be.
I don't know if Rob Henry made it through the year.
No, he
guys
didn't.
Naming,
He
guys
didn't.
naming dudes. That's what the podcast is. This is the section of the podcast.
What did we
for
find
guys
out? By the
naming
way,
dudes.
when Rob Henry had his first, I think was it his first start versus Northwestern.
Yeah.
How many yards passing did he
Oh.
have in that victory?
I don't know if it was his first start, but it was
75.
You're too high. You are too high, and I know you're too high. I remembered we were talking about this weekend. My family and I were, and how we were on the road for that game,
I wonder
and
if it's Joey.
That's a good guess, too.
I
That's
wonder if
That's a
Joey, because
good
Joey
guess.
Elliott was the season after Painter, and he may
was-
have last.
That was Hope's first season, wasn't it?
The season after Painter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it would have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
Must have been.
That was the 5 and
he was a
7 year
senior.
that started
He was a
like
senior. Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's it. I think that's the answer. I think it's
started
Duke.
like 1-5, beat Ohio State, and then almost went to a bowl.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So Josh Custle says it's Zion's step to a breakout. The problem that I've got with that, and I like that thought process there. Anish thinks no Purdue wide receivers are worth talking about. But I'm just going to blow it out of proportion
I don't
because
know.
that's not even the right thing to say about Anish. It's not fair. But Zion hasn't made the two deeps yet. And I think he could. I think he will eventually. He's not there yet. I think that's a fun. If he has a breakout season, that means the offense got special to me. I mean, like, I think he's done some big things because he's gotten somebody's attention, had like a 200-yard game, and then stuck there.
By the way, your boy Yassine is at the what is he, the 3?
Yassine.
He's the main slot right
He's
now.
he's a slot. He's the guy. So
By the way, Michael
There's a
Hogg
little
has more
speed
than
right there.
has more than once asked about Robert Marv. No, Michael. Robert Marv was
No.
made
He
of
did that. He
porcelain.
barely made it through back-to-back.
His
games.
knees were
in
like
fact,
celery.
even when he was starting half that season, it
He
was
had a
with
funny
a prosthetic leg. People don't remember that.
prosthetic leg.
Yeah, that was wild. That was courageous.
Yeah, he definitely never started a full season. He
He
celery
beat up the
knees.
competition like he did his. I'm not going to go through.
Whoa!
I'm not going to go through a whole joke. I'm not going to do that.
Celery knees.
I'm not going to.
Other option for the breakout could be the defensive backs that transferred in, right? I mean, so we've got Marquise Brown, Marquise Wilson, kind of both, good options there. The youngest Thieneman is getting a start.
There's the guy that I'm excited to see. So who has a better season?
Yeah.
Who has a better season? Thieneman or Kane?
Oh, I think Thieneman. Yeah.
Hmm.
I like
Kane
Kane.
starts the season with a club on one of his hands.
Exactly. I like Kane, but
like that guy.
Thieneman
Yeah.
is fresher and has no fear right now. Like, I mean, there's
Right.
nothing kind of
But he's
there.
a Thieneman, so of course he has no fear. He has no idea
Yeah.
that he's the size he is. And
Exactly.
I guess he's 6'1", 2.
He's the biggest
15,
Thieneman, I think,
220,
so
right?
far.
So-
Or at least,
He's the biggest Thieneman out of the box, right? That's
tallest.
the thing. Yeah.
Tallest out of the box Thieneman, correct? That's-
Yeah. So Jay, do you have a breakout player?
No, you've named all the players I know. So that's the problem.
this is the new reality of college football, right? It's like
yeah,
wait until week one to get to know your team. You can only know.
I
so
would
much on paper.
tune into the press conferences via Golden Black, but they still have not figured out how to get audio from a microphone to a recording device to my computer. Everything sounds like someone's in the back of an auditorium and the microphone
The
in the
internet
front.
is a series of tubes. It's fine.
No, but
all tubes.
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that how come every press conference you watch in sports, it sounds as clear as we do right now, but every time GBI posts it's like the guy has a microphone. We're gonna be good this year.
Oh, I don't know if I can replicate that. I don't know if this is kind of and by the way, we all love Mike Carter.
Yeah, we love Mike.
I don't know if I can do it
Carmen's
with this
great.
camera setup.
Yeah, but
Have you ever seen the
Yeah.
Mike Carbon podcast
love
camera
Carbon.
angle?
I love Carbon. I love everything
think
about
it's-
Carbon's
Is it-
online.
I think it's Jay Money's.
like this?
Yes, but it's like this.
It's knuckle cam. It's knuckle cam. It's nostril cam.
It's nostril cam. It's definitely.
We've
nostril
all
cam.
heard of knuckle cam.
Yes. Yeah, knuckle cam was made famous by one of us, and nostril cam took it to the next level.
That's why I got this one. That
Knuckle
I can take
cam
off the-
dance so nostril cam could have
Good
prom
smell.
or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, last question, because it's
Yes.
obligatory on every
90
college
minutes.
football preview. Who wins the Big Ten, and what's the playoff?
Purdue.
Oh my goodness.
Purdue.
Thank you.
Both.
Yeah, everything. Purdue. Going Indy again. I don't know. Is it in Indy? Probably.
I think. I mean, it's such a.
Every year.
I'm going to say Ohio State. Ohio State wins the Big Ten because I don't think Michigan's going to beat them 3 years in
I
a row.
do.
I just have a hard time believing.
I
it.
think it's Michigan. I think it's Michigan,
I think
then
it's
Penn State, then Ohio State. I think Ohio
Oh,
State
Penn
finishes
State.
Man,
third.
you and your love
Penn
affair
State
with
is gonna-
Penn State, just because you have some friends that are good people that go to Penn State or went to
what?
Penn State.
No,
Goodness
I-
gracious, let's back off of Penn State.
Penn State and James Franklin lose every big
They
game
do.
they play.
That's true. Yes.
And they're going to continue.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason.
I
to
don't believe in James Franklin.
gonna
Like,
win
I
10
believe he
games,
exists,
But
but I don't believe he is good at coaching.
he's not. He's not.
I think it's
He's a
Michigan.
good recruiter.
But
Good
I-
recruiter.
Unlike
Yeah, he's fun.
Narwhals.
But if
Yeah,
it ends
Narwhals
up
don't
Penn
exist.
State,
Narwhals,
if
yeah.
Penn State ends up being the second best team in the Big Ten, I don't know if they end up on the right side of the playoff.
I saw a season preview, like a legit one through like the Athletic or something, saying they'd be in the playoffs.
I saw
Penn
that,
State,
too.
and I think that's.
I think it's absolutely
that's
out there.
nonsense.
This is the deepest.
Sure, it's
team
out
that
there. It
exists.
doesn't mean it's good.
It's possible.
They're not going to win their division.
But yeah, not with
They're
that
not gonna win
division.
the division.
They could.
They're not going to win
No,
the
they're not,
division,
yeah.
so they're not going to go
I
to the
actually-
playoffs.
I'll-
That the Big Ten doesn't get that kind. I know Ohio State did last year, but that's because they're Ohio State.
Yeah, Big Ten. So
Penn State has not earned
So
that.
the Big Ten only getting one bid is absolutely something that I could see. That's why,
Sure,
I'd
for
rather
sure.
take Michigan. I'd rather take Michigan to win the Big Ten. I think they are going to win the Big Ten. I don't know how much I believe this year in Ohio State. I don't know. It's a real reload year for them. And by real reload, I mean they might only be the sixth best team.
Yeah, they only have
They might win
25
10
five
games
stars
instead
on
of
the
12.
field.
Exactly. They might only win 10 games.
Yeah, it's tough.
Right.
But I believe in Penn State more than Ohio State this year. And what will be funny,
I'll take that bet.
What will be hilarious is seeing Ohio State fan reactions if that happens.
That would be
And
great.
Ryan Day,
Day will
who
be great.
averages 10.5 wins a season or 11.5 wins a season, and they'll be calling for his head.
I think he's only lost what 2 Big Ten games ever to Michigan both times.
Yeah.
I think
Man,
I think there was one more.
I don't
in
think
there,
he's-
but
that
yeah,
sounds like
yeah,
Purdue, doesn't it?
Yeah,
maybe
I'm
one
saying.
more. Maybe one more.
Sounds like Dale Hazel.
Ryan Day is a fraud, says Zachary Young. That's a hot
Exactly.
take. I
Exactly.
don't.
31-2 against the Big
31-2, and he's a fraud.
I'll take it. I will take it.
I
That's
think,
a five
yeah,
and
Anish,
six.
you got a big heart. I like
won't
that.
take. I won't take the Iowa trade off that
No,
we keep trying to
you
make
won't.
happen. I'll take the Ohio State.
See, I would take the Iowa trade off. I'll be honest. Like I would
No.
take just being near the top of your division every year.
He doesn't mean being Iowa.
No. I'm just saying, like,
No, you
don't
have
wanna
to.
be
The
Iowa.
trade
I don't
off.
wanna be
The,
Iowa, no.
the trade off is you have to be Iowa to get
Oh,
that. You don't
I
get to
don't.
be Purdue. You get to have Iowa's identity. All of it. All of it. Not just the wins. All of it. All of it. No, thank you. Goodbye. I would much rather have Purdue's. And then playoff. What do you do? Let's just go all in. What's your playoff?
If Ohio State finishes lower than Penn State in the Big Ten, you will see so much cash flowing out of Columbus and into Columbus. Like it will be absurd. It will be like when
It's gonna
if you
happen.
were to put it all back into like that damn Florida documentary on Netflix right now, which are like the Myers' second year, where they were just like getting every recruit that they talked to,
You mean when they were like working really hard on the recruiting
working really
trail?
hard on the recruiting trail. Exactly.
Yeah.
They were just
Swamp
working. It was all
Kings.
hard work. It was all hard
Swamp
work that got
Kings.
it done. Yep. Swamp Kings.
Um,
By the way, if you have not seen it, They don't ever get to the fact that everyone was a felon except for Tebow. They never talk about that. They don't talk about that there was a murderer on
Sounds
the
like you
team.
enjoyed it. I didn't even know that this.
Holy
this
crap,
was
it makes
bad.
me mad. It makes me really.
It's
And Urban
journalism
Meyer
now.
was involved in this production. I'm sure of it, if not the executive producer. Oh, and he still looks like a jerk, by the way.
It's
a
you know,
shame.
it's journalism now.
Journalism.
All right, I'll give you my playoff. It's completely boring, but it's the playoff, and they just love the SEC. So it's going to be
Alabama,
3
Georgia.
SEC schools and Ohio State.
Alabama, Georgia, LSU. Who's the
LSU.
fourth?
Ohio State.
You
So
got a
I think
surprise there.
I think
like,
this season is going to be
Kentucky.
nuts. I think it's going to be insane, and I really do think that it's going to be so fun. There are going to be so many heavy hitters. There are
Enjoy
10
the
teams
season.
that
Enjoy
could
it.
win that could win the national title. I think.
10 teams that can win a national title?
I absolutely think you could.
No.
I think you could list 10 teams
No
where
way.
you wouldn't be stunned if they won the national title.
All right.
And I think you are right. I think that the playoff is going to end up being 2 Big Ten teams and 2 SEC teams
No.
because that's just
One Big Ten team,
I think it's going to be 2
SEC
and 2.
teams.
I think it's going to be.
But you
2
could see 3 and 1.
One Pac-12 team.
USC is the one that could break this up
Nah.
if you don't
I-
think that
I
they're going
like
to stub
them.
their toe.
But I think they'll trip on something. And yeah,
Utah's big
right.
boulder face. Utah is the most Big Ten team in the country. I can't believe that we don't have them.
I thought they were the
not-
perfect location to be the bridge over to the west. I really did. Them or Colorado.
You
We
Any
thought
have
one
air-
of them.
we have air travel. You don't need.
No, you need
bridges.
to like stop to water your horses
What?
because the mountains are really
That's,
difficult
that's
on
where
the
the
horses.
dick wagon stops on the
That's
way.
where the dick wagon stops in Utah or Colorado every single time. Good work, LBD. Nice job.
I think the last 2 things we'll go out on is that the official pick, Handel Jones is right. The official pick for the Pac-12 championship of Boiled Sports is
OSU.
Oregon State.
The only
We are
OSU that
big.
matters.
I might go to Home Field Apparel and buy an Oregon State shirt just for it because screw all this. They're leaving a good team behind, and that sucks. Enjoy the last crazy season of amazing college football. This will be, the college football as we knew it. And okay, I think there was the last one, which was what's the prediction? The Fresno prediction.
Oh boy, putting
A
me right
cautious
on the spot.
win. I want to win. I want to win so bad.
We want
I'll tell you
the
what.
ball, and we're gonna win.
I want the win. I think here's how I'll caveat it. I think they're more likely to beat Fresno than they are to beat Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
Just you
I
think home
agree.
and away is that big of a deal for this
Well,
team?
I say
I think
Maybe.
yeah.
Fresno has no offense. They literally lost like all of their offense. They lost
Yeah.
their top 3 receivers, their running back,
internet.
and their quarterback.
And
So it's
Purdue's
going to be 2
defense
teams
should be
just
good.
wrestling between the 40s.
Well, but
Under.
so the under you guys are saying.
I think
That's what
I agree.
Anish says.
Tim.
That
I say
take
take
the
the
under,
over.
smash the
Bet-
under.
Bet Purdue and bet the under.
I like
think-
Dick's
I
pick
think
right
Purdue
there.
wins.
31-27 Purdue. I like that
I
kind of
say
a pick.
I say
I
41-10.
like that. 41-10.
So yeah,
I
you're still
think-
up there around
Mercy.
50
I
points.
think
That's
this
what I
team's
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. 34.
I have a hard time nailing this one down just because I don't know anything. I mean,
You
like,
don't know anything.
I don't know
Complete guess.
anything. So it's completely a guess. I say they win.
3 for 3. Let's go. 4 for 4.
Yes.
Let's
You say they win?
Yeah,
let's
41-10.
freaking go.
Or, yeah, that's right, you have
41-10.
to pick them.
He's thinking of just a
He's-
freaking shellacking.
Yeah,
I
just
think-
having
I
fun.
love
This
it.
is like us dancing over
Yeah.
Ohio, is what he's
Yeah.
remembering there.
They beat them down pretty good that night.
Yeah, that was fun. So right now, I'll make you make a prediction. How long is Coach Walters at Purdue?
I was thinking about asking you guys this
6.
question.
6 years. That's awesome. That means it's a good 6 years, in my
It's a
opinion.
good 6 years.
Absolutely.
Or it's
yeah.
a really horrible 6 years.
No,
No.
not
Six.
with.
You're
No.
getting him out. You're getting him out earlier if it's
He'd
not
be gone
safe.
after
If
three
Well,
or
it's
no,
seven.
not-
like let's say
Terrible.
he goes 4-8, 6-6, and then 5-7, 3-10,
That's
2-9. That would be pretty bad.
Why did you do this? Why
Why
did you
just
do
say
this?
that? You're a mean little
Mean.
man, mean, angry man who's
That
been
would be
around
bad.
Purdue way too long.
That would be bad. You're right. That's about the only way that would happen, though. Is
Yeah,
they'd have
that's
to have
exactly
a few,
how it would
like,
happen.
a glimmer of hope and then drop
Yeah.
back down.
Glimmer of hope, a little bit of an extension signed, and what have we
Yeah.
done?
No,
Yeah,
but I think it'll be. I think it's.
Babinski's
Okay.
getting near
Six is
retirement,
a full
guys.
era.
And I think that plays into how long
Who?
Walters is here.
Oh.
Babinski is getting near retirement.
Here's another question I was going to ask you guys related to that. This is more of a fun Fantasyland one.
Okay.
What would have to happen this year for Walters to leave after 1 year?
National title.
10
maybe.
wins.
Yeah, like
I think 10
go,
wins
Go to
he
the
leaves.
playoff. Go to the playoff.
See, really? You think
Playoff.
so?
Like that's
No.
gonna be like.
No,
I think if
I
he
don't
won
think it takes
10,
that much.
I think if
they
he won
win
10, somebody would offer him a job.
He
But that would
gone.
be so
Well,
good.
Yeah,
I agree.
At least 10, maybe 11.
We always had the teams. This is something.
he's no dodo. The conference stuff that's happening right now, that would take the SEC hiring him away, right?
That's it. So that's what I was about to say.
Someone might.
We had the
Oh, yeah.
Brom teams, that made sense, not just Louisville, but all of the ones that we had on that spreadsheet that made sense. And for Walters, I'm not sure what it is. It would have to be an SEC team, right? But
Yeah.
because the Big Ten doesn't really do that. The SEC does a lot. We've talked about that in the past, but I don't know. I'm saying 6, and I'm feeling good about it.
That's a good bet.
I'd like that.
Good
I'd like
6.
that.
I think
Good
that's
back-to-back coaches. Good back-to-back Purdue coaches that stayed for 6 years.
When does
Yes,
that ever happen?
incredible.
I'll take
That's
that.
an incredible.
You going through the coaches
awesome.
earlier today was sobering.
Yeah, it hurts a lot, doesn't it? That's like, you got road rash already.
You
and
went
then you're
back
taking a
30
scrub rush to it.
When did he start? Coletto, 90?
90.
So you went back 33 years.
Yeah, that's a
And
pretty good amount of time. And
That's a long time, over 3 decades, I'm told.
So,
yeah.
Man.
So listen, we went a whole summer and we didn't really podcast that regularly. So what we did was we gave you 2 weeks back to back of 100 minutes. We're Oppenheimer here. We've given you an Oppenheimer length feature film.
We need an editor. That's
Except
what you're saying.
you gotta combine those to make
It's fine. It's
One
fine.
super
That
We'll
would
super
be
season
fine.
preview.
Long.
Yeah.
It'll be close. It's I told you that. I mean, we remind. But this, every podcast is someone's first, and so handsome hour. Both of those words are jokes, my friends.
Right, exactly. If you haven't figured this out yet, it's all sarcasm. Handsome Heimer.
Handsome Heimer. That's
Handsome
good.
Heimer.
Very well done. Lawrence.
Thanks
that's
thanks
it.
again to our friends at AJ's and our friends at Home Field Apparel.
They're the best, and thank you all for staying with us, tuning in. Okay,
Yeah, that's
every time. Sorry, every time. Oh my goodness. God bless you guys. Hammer down. I love you. Good night.